So I wrote it back in 2018, the first draft, and then I did Top Boy, I did Candyman, I did The Marvels, and Sean, we were working together at the time, so I was like, hey Sean, do you want to read the script that I'm thinking about, please? So basically I hoodwinked these guys into making a much smaller movie with me.
It's another Amazon MGM title, Hedda, from writer-director Nia DaCosta. Yeah. The film is a provocative reimagining of Henrik Ibsen's classic play, Hedda Gabler. And this film adaptation follows enigmatic newlywed Hedda, who is outwardly composed but hiding a simmering discontent that threatens to explode when the brilliant and charismatic Eileen Lovberg re-enters her life. Over the course of a raucous party, the high and low of society endure the consequences of this dangerous and unknowable woman yearning for a past love. What ensues is a ruthless game of manipulation where lust, jealousy, and betrayal collide. Hedda is a daring exploration of power, desire, and a woman's refusal to be confined. The film reunites its writer-director, Nia, with Tessa Thompson. The two worked on DaCosta's, you might remember, debut feature film, Little Woods. Tessa stars as Hedda, while Nina Hoss plays Eileen Lovberg. It also stars Tom Bateman, Imogen Poots, and Nicholas Pinnock. Please welcome to the stage, writer, director, producer, Nia DaCosta. Cinematographer Sean Bobbitt. Composer, songwriter Hildur Guðnadóttir. Costume designer Lindsay Pugh. And last but not least, casting director Des Hamilton. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you all. How are we today? Good?
Great. Yeah, excited.
Us
Talk
too.
about stuff.
Okay, but first, before we chat, we've got a clip from Hedda. So let's take a look at that.
It's nice and quiet, but soon again, Georgie starts another big riot. You blow a fuse, sing boom, the devil cuts loose.
Gabler.
Dr. Lovborg, it has been a long, long time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Tesman. Mrs. Tesman.
Please come in, have a drink.
I've brought a couple of friends, if that's all right.
Sat-
In you come.
Aren't you gorgeous?
Charming. Down, boy. This is her husband, Dr. George Tesman.
Where's the bar, George?
Just that.
Come on.
Nia, okay. You've wanted to make this for a while. You wrote, I know I saw you at Story House in Dublin last year or earlier this year. You were so fantastic, and you had mentioned that this for you, after having a studio experience, you wanted to do something that was the antidote of that. But you had written Hedda a few years before. Tell me why your love for this play, and why do you feel like now has been the right time to adapt this and make it contemporary for a contemporary audience?
Yeah, so I wrote it back in 2018, the first draft. Then I did another draft of it, and then I kind of put it in a drawer. And then I did, I did Top Boy, I did Candyman, I did The Marvels, and during The Marvels, I was like, I'm really ready to get back to my own voice. And this story was the thing that I kept thinking about. And eventually I called my agents, and I was like, we have to set this up. Like, I have to do it next. And then Sean, we were working together at the time, so I was like, hey Sean, do you want to read the script that I'm thinking about? Please. And Lindsay as well, and Des. So basically I hoodwinked these guys into making a much smaller movie with me. But it was less about what was happening on the outside and more what was happening on the inside for me, why I wanted to tell the story now. When I wrote it, I thought about making it feel more contemporary, but I didn't want it to be present day. And that's why I updated it to the 50s, because I thought that was that's a decade we're really all still connected to, I think, thematically. So yeah.
Has it sort of satiated like what you needed as a filmmaker? Now you're on the other side of it.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And it was great because then I, went into another film that was another franchise sort of studio movie, but I brought every principle that I brought to Hedda to that, which is like staying true to myself and my voice, and I worked with people who let me do that. So it was exactly what I needed at the time, yeah.
Sean, tell me a little bit about, I'd love to know what the early discussions were with you two when it came to approaching this. Like what inspirations were you using? What kind of resources were you calling across? How did you want the look and feel of this film to be?
Well, I think the most important thing to begin with was that it was not the Marvels. And we sort of worked from there. I mean, the look of the film came organically out of the discussions that we had about the film and how Nia saw the film. And I think it all kind of coalesced as we saw the location and the cast. And, there were some technical things that were very specific that pointed us in a direction in terms of camera. And then so many emotional things that pointed us in another direction for the lenses. And then the lighting was really very old school. I mean, if any of you out there are gaffers or cinematographers, almost the whole film is lit by China balls. Really simple, but, almost contemporary to the era. And because of the limitations of the location we had, they were kind of the only way to go.
Yeah. Where did you guys shoot this? It's a fantastic location, but where was it shot?
In the Midlands,
Okay.
in a house called Flintham Hall.
Yep.
Which is sort of near Newark, which is near Nottingham.
Okay. Hildur, hello.
Hi,
Thanks for being here.
thank you for having me.
The music plays such a big role in this film. You've got it throughout. I mean, the tension it builds, this, what it does, that the, actors aren't, how it carries kind of scenes and actors. How did you what was your approach to this and discussions with Nia? Like, how did you want the kind of the elements of song and music to contribute to what the audience are hearing?
Well, there's many layers to the music. I'll try to give this short answer because my answers tend to be kind of long and there's lots to say about the music. But I mean, first of all, we knew we wanted to have like energy and a drive with the music, so the percussion was kind of perfect. We knew that there was going to be a band playing in the, playing in the party. So we knew that we were going to have these songs. And so I thought it was perfect to have a kind of love song that was connected to the theme, so the love theme is this song and it plays into the score. And then I always think it's really interesting to when you do period pieces to understand what's happening in music of that time, so one of the composers that I found most interesting from this time in England was a composer called Cornelius Cardew, and he would have been starting out writing at this time. And he did really amazing work where he would mix together professional musicians and amateurs and have them all kind of perform and sing together. And because in the party we have this mix of artists and kind of more stuck up aristocrats, I was imagining that he was in the party and he was kind of starting to conduct these impromptu performances with all the people in the party who might have been professional musicians and also just, lay folks. So I came on set and I recorded the cast and the crew singing as if they were, the singers in that party. So all the voices and all the singing and all the breathing you hear is the cast and the crew of the film. And I thought it was just such a great way to bring everyone into the music and have this kind of celebration of the collective spirit of shooting and making a film that includes so many people.
And I believe there's an original song you also wrote for this.
Exactly, the one that we just heard in that clip.
How did that kind of come, about? What were the discussions you two had?
Well, Nia wrote the lyrics to the song, so and I wrote the song that I thought really fit to this to the vibe and the period of the film, and it also lends itself well to being like a proper theme, and it lends itself to being kind of upbeat, like in the beginning of the film. It's the same theme, so it seemed to kind of tick all the boxes we needed. Mm-hmm. And it was great to collaborate with Nia, of course, on the song, because I really love when music can kind of seep into all the different threads of collaboration and filmmaking. That's the part that I find most exciting, like not just highlighting people's facial expressions, but to kind of really be a part of the the DNA of the film from the start. And I think that collaborating with Nia on these things were really great.
Lindsay, hi. Costumes for this. What an amazing era to kind of be exploring on the costume side of things. But I'd love to know kind of what your approach was and how you kind of decided what kind of inspired you. And interestingly, this also takes place across only one evening. So I would imagine, what are the challenges that come with that when you've got one evening, one time period? Because you have to be quite assured with what they're going to wear throughout the whole night. Maybe you could speak to that.
Make sure that the decision you've made is the right decision.
Yes. Is there more pressure then?
You can make it, yeah. But it's lovely because then you can concentrate on a few garments and just make those as beautiful as you can. And the challenge is that they have a lot of work to do. Those dresses did a lot of work over a lot of time, and a cocktail dress, especially a 50s corseted cocktail dress, is not the easiest thing for these poor women to wear. So it was trying to strike that balance for them to be able to act in it and for it to look period. And to make it look a sort of luscious and everything. In the script, there was a reference to rotting fruit. So that was where the colour came from. So just to keep everything sort of really visceral, and there was no sort of strong colours. So it was just like this sort of 1950s fruit bowl. So we're trying to keep that colour story going all the way through there.
Yeah. It's what a lovely reference. I mean, it really kind of comes through on the screen when you say that. Des, hi. Casting this project, what a great cast, some wonderful performances. These three ladies that are leading this are very strong in very different ways. What were you looking for when you were kind of going through this whole process? What did each character kind of have to have for you, and how did sort of Tessa feed into that?
My colleagues and I, we'd spoke with Nia about it, and we'd worked together previously. So I think we're looking for people that could really come in and contribute, elevate it, and the word that came back was we're looking for people to really have an impact, and interesting casting. was the underlying theme, you know, looking for immersive type talent. And I think through the process, connections were formed and things happened very naturally. I reflect upon it as it was a really enjoyable process. It was a good time.
Was there anyone who kind of surprised you with what they brought to the role and specifically?
That would be unfair.
Or maybe to phrase it better, took it in a direction you thought you didn't anticipate it going in, shall I say?
I think quite a few of them did. They come in, they read, Nia redirected them, and they took on those notes and they played with it. And everybody was very open to that. And yeah, there were some of the improvisations lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this is just to say the reason why I keep working with Des is because in the room when we're auditioning people, he really pushes the actors and to really see what they can bring and what they can do, and that's why I love you so much, because I think you're brilliant, and the people he brings in are interesting, but they have like that extra thing. And so in this film where it's an ensemble and everyone's on set all the time and everyone has to, you know, I could say, can you say something sort of like this, you know, and they can just do it. And you know, our like secondary cast, you have like BAFTA nominee Saffron Hawking, Olivier nominee Jamel Westman, you know, and they're not the leads, but they could be. And I think Des brings those people in, and so, you know, the reason why I think it was so enjoyable is because we had amazing people, and also then you push them to like see how far they can go with improvisation. Sometimes they really go on and on, but but yeah, it's a great process.
I'm so sorry we are out of time. I could talk to you guys about this so much more, but thank you so much. Congratulations on the beautiful film. Thank you.
Thank you.